Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope everyone is in a good condition. Okay, uh, there are some students who give me mm, some comments and also ask me to make such a video with the topic about essay because in the class they have learned about essay and learn how to make a good essay, but he and she, I mean they, uh, argue that perhaps it's gonna be better if I make a video so that they can play and replay the video at whenever points or at whatever points they think they still do not understand. That is why then I make this video. Hopefully this video will enlighten you, will make you more understand about the topic of essay. And because there are so many kinds of essay, we will only focus on one type of essay. Okay, let us start. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I hope that everyone can see my screen. Essay writing. So there are many kinds of writing, you know, that I believe you have ever tried these kinds of writing, like writing poetry or writing a letter, personal letter, or even academic writing. For example, in your other courses, perhaps your letter have asked you to make such kind of academic writing, like perhaps paper, or in your final projects, perhaps you are asked to make an article or something else. Those are kinds of writing that we know. In writing, you are asked to put your ideas or to deliver, to convey your ideas in the form of writing form, like so you must write either typing or handwriting. Those kinds of writings emerge because of the different kinds of the goals of the writing. So you write poems, for example, to express yourself or to engage the reader, knowing about your feelings about something. And perhaps also you must write a paper. A paper is one kind of academic writing in which you should convey in scientific or academic way. You must write your ideas structurally and to follow the scientific writings. You know, there are some steps in scientific method and you need to follow that. Okay, and now we will focus on aesthetics. What actually an essay writing is? I think you have been familiar with the word I say, and in your previous classes you have learned about this. But however, I mean, maybe you still confused and you still have some doubt in writing a good essay. So I will try to help you in this video. Okay, to know about the prior knowledge, I wanna know. I want you to write in the comments below. What do you know about an essay? Try to ask yourself first. Okay, what is an essay? I want to give you 30 seconds to ask yourself so that you will invite your prior knowledge so that after listening to my explanation, you can revise your prior understanding about essay. Okay. All right. Now, after trying to define what an essay is based on your understanding, I want you to choose among these three pictures, which one is actually present an essay? Is this one like this, or this one, or even this one? Don't forget to also provide your reasons and try to answer it by yourself. Okay, if we take a look at this picture, you're gonna see that chapter 3 here, it is a sign that it is part of a book. And if you can see here, there are some direct and indirect conversation. And I believe that you have been familiar with this such kind of writing. We usually call it as a novel. And a novel have different purpose or goals with essay. Because in a novel, the writer wants to create a conditions, whether it is a fact or non-fiction, and then to tell that story to amuse the reader. It's a little bit similar with narrative writing, right? So it's a story. That is a novel. And when we have spare time and we wanna use the time to enjoy ourselves, we will try to find a novel. That is a novel. Then in the middle here, it only consists of one paragraph. Of course, this is not an essay because an essay will consist of some paragraphs. It is only a paragraph, right? With the title, The Best Sandwich of My Life. And then we're not gonna talk about the type of genre of this paragraph. Perhaps in the other video, we're gonna talk about that. We will only talk or focus on essay. And the last picture here, see the conjunction, the sentence that is used to connect each paragraph, and it is used in the first sentence of each paragraph to connect its paragraph to the others. It is to maintain the cohesiveness and the coherence of the things or the topics being talked or discussed. We can read this. One advantages of internet is blah blah blah, and then on the other then blah blah blah. To sum up, so this is the conclusion. We want to sum up, and they separate probably the body, and above this, because we cannot see, probably the introduction. So we may say that this picture, the third picture, is an essay. So that it consists of some paragraphs, body and conclusion, and also introduction in above. And it talk about one topic. Because of that, it has a very good cohesive devices to connect each paragraph to each other. Okay, that is an essay. The presentation of an essay. You can see the difference with the other kinds of writing, like novel or paragraphs or perhaps paper and something else. So what actually an essay? So in here, I have picked one definition that we may use or we may refer to define an essay, but actually there are many kinds or many other definitions of essay with the other words, sentences. Also, in general, they are the same. So if you try to look for in the Google or the other sources like books and extra, you will find many definition of an essay because there is no single definition, but they define the same. Essay is a group of paragraphs. Remember, a group of paragraphs. So it will be more than one paragraph written about a single topic and central main idea. Single topic. Remember, only one main idea of one topic being discussed in those group of paragraphs. That is why you need to learn about cohesive devices to make your paragraphs or your essay coherent. It must have at least three paragraphs, but a five-paragraph essay is a common length for an academic writing. So essay is one kind of academic writing. It's academic because it is used in academic settings. If you want to write an essay, you have to be serious in tone. You know, still remember about that. And the one who will read, perhaps those people in academic setting. So those three paragraphs will consist of introduction, body, and conclusion. So if it is consists of five paragraphs, meaning that the first will be the introduction and the last will be the conclusion, and in the middle, three paragraphs will be the body. There will be three body paragraphs as the common length for essay, or in this case, essay is one kind of academic writing. And one more time, in writing an essay, you need to put or to write, to convey, to deliver your arguments or your opinion towards the topics. But do not write only the other person's opinion about a topic, but write yours. It is okay, or it is possible, it is permitted for you to support your opinion with the other's opinion as long as you cite correctly. But what is important in an essay is your own opinion about a single topic. So remember, do not only elaborate, do not only define something or just present things and you just take a neutral position, but try to state your position, okay? Your opinion on that. There are many kinds of essay, of course, and we will focus on one type of essay. Here are the example of kinds of essay, but if you find another kinds of it, it's okay. Because there are many and there is no I mean there are many sources and we can still use those sources as long as it still explain about general or common explanation about an essay. I mean, an essay should have a specific goal, and then the structure to be the same, you know, introduction, body, and conclusion, and then the lexical grammar structure should differentiate essay with the other kinds of writing, as long as that source explain these three things similar to an essay, and then we can include that type into an essay because there are so many. For example, you can find narrative essay, descriptive essay, expository essay, argumentative essay, and an agree-disagree essay, problem solution, compare and contrast, and cause and there are still so many. Okay, today we will only focus on agree, disagree essay. By the way, before we continue, I wanna remind you that also there are many kinds of essay. You should remember three things that make them different. The first is uh, the purpose of the essay. This is the most important thing, that each kind of essay actually have the same structure, but they have different purpose. Okay, and then the lexical grammar. Remember, they perhaps have specific grammar for its kind of this essay, like narrative, descriptive, expository, that make them different to each other, and also the vocabulary that they use. Although for the structure, commonly they have introduction, body, and essay. All right, before uh, begin practicing an essay, I want you to reflect that if it is your first time, or if you are a beginner in writing an essay, you cannot learn to write a good essay in a day. So never try to submit an essay just in a single night. For example, if tomorrow is the deadline for you to submit an essay, do not only write it in a night. Try to give some times for you to like to think about the topic, and then to brainstorm what you know about the topic, and then to make a list about your opinion towards the topic, and then remember the structure, and then try to put its main idea into your paragraph in the structure, and then try to write nicely, and then check again your grammar, check again your vocab. You need to practice step by step. You have to learn how to express your idea in a systematic way. You must write essays or practice writing essay regularly in order to be a pro in an essay. So never imagine that you will be able to write an essay just in a single night, or just after watching my video, and then suddenly next week you are able to write such kind of great essay or something else. You need to practice. It's a skill. If it is a skill, then you need to regularly practice in order to be skillful or to be a professional essay writer. Okay, after writing some essays, you will feel that essay writing is not a difficult task, because perhaps now, if you are a beginner, you will think that it's so complicated. What should I write? What makes it different with the other kinds of writing, or with other kinds of essay? So you need to be patient and practice a lot step by step. Okay, let us begin with our specific topic of today, which is about agree disagree essay. So in my other video, perhaps I will talk about the other kinds of essay, but for this video, let us focus on agree and or disagree essay. So agree or disagree essay requires students to analyze the issues or the problems in the text and give opinions by stating agreement or disagreement towards the raised issues. The student should use their analytical and critical thinking in analyzing the text so that the opinions are strong, reasonable, and convincing. So if you remember, in the beginning of this video, I remind you to put your confidence to deliver. Don't forget your ideas. Not only to just elaborate, but your ideas is important for an essay. That is why in agree or disagree essay, you are required to analyze about the topic, and then to state whether you agree or disagree about the topic, and then try to analyze and think critically. What are your reasons that makes you agree or disagree about a topic? Okay, and your reason should be strong, reasonable, and convincing. And then talking about the essay organization of agree disagree essay, it will be the same with the common organization that I have said or I have mentioned before. It will be introduction, which state how much you agree or disagree. So you must state in this case whether you agree or disagree. And then body paragraph. In the body paragraph, you should elaborate your reasons why you agree or disagree. Perhaps you have two reasons, and that you will be able to elaborate those two reasons in two different paragraphs. You will be able to elaborate your reasons completely, and don't forget to provide examples. Okay, and the last part is conclusion. In conclusion, you review, you reinforce, you restate about your agreement or disagreement. Remember, do not copy and paste the introduction. Although it is only restate, try to paraphrase, use another sentence, another words with the similar meaning. Okay, I hope you understand about the definition and the organization. By the way, based on these definitions, then we need to remind ourselves that when we are writing, we need to remember our goals. So if we write an agree disagree essays, you should remember your goal is to provide reasons to the reader that you agree or disagree about an essay, and your reason should be logic, strong, reasonable, and convincing. That is your purpose in writing an essay. You show your position, agree or disagree, and you present your reasons in a systematic way. Okay, and then you also need to remember the reader of your writing will be the person in academic settings. So be wise in choosing your vocabulary in your writings. It's a kind of academic essay, so try to make a polite sentence, a complete sentence with a good grammatical structure, which is appropriate in academic settings. And don't forget the tone of this essay should be serious and formal. Okay. Now we are going to take a look to one example of agree disagree essay. And the topic will be, as you can read, governments should spend more money on education than on recreation and sports. So government should spend more money on education than on recreation and sports. Do you agree or disagree? What you should do after reading this question? You should think, ask yourself whether you agree with the statement or disagree with the statement. If you agree, meaning that you support the government to spend more money on education, try to make a list of reasons why you agree with that. If you disagree, meaning that you support the government to spend more money on recreation and sports, you can also try to brainstorm your minds and then make a list of reasons for that disagreement. Okay, if you still do not understand the questions, repeat the questions, read and read again the questions until you understand. Okay, don't worry about that. We still learn. It's different in the class situation. Okay, this is one example of the steps you can do in writing a disagree essay. So after reading the topic, you can generate the idea or brainstorm this is actually important because brainstorming is one step in pre-writing. It is useful for you to like ask you yourself what you know about this topic, so that later on your writing will be structured, because you really mention first, you make a list first, and the reasons that probably suitable with the topic, rather than if you directly write before previously brainstorm and make a list. So you can try to practice this kind of things. I mean, directly writing, or try to brainstorm first and then ask yourself, reflect which one is actually more effective for you to write a good essay. Okay, in this case, there are two conditions. In the above here, if you agree that the government should spend more money on education, this reason can be possible, like education benefits an economy in the long term, or that education has social benefits, or education is a human right, or education is more costly than recreational and sports, so that government should spend more money because it's more costly. It can be your reasons. And then, if you disagree with a statement, you can also make a list, like the reason for the disagreement. Sport and recreation have health benefits, or sport and recreation can promote learning too, or education always receives a. Hello everyone, sorry, I think my internet connection is not stable, so something that happened. I will continue my explanation. Let me see my screen again. I think I have explained until the main slide. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, I was uh, leaving the room after explaining about this. So I want to just continue with the reasons that maybe you can take if you disagree with the statement, meaning that you support the government to spend more money on recreation and sport. You can make a list like sport and recreation have health benefits, or sport and recreation can promote learning too, actually. Or education always receives a higher budget and sports are overlooked. So it's bad. So it is the time to give attention to sports. Okay. So those reasons you can take for if you disagree. Okay, now take a look at the statement. The writer for the example of agree and disagree paragraph that I wanna show you after this, or you can also see it on your book. The writer agree with the statement, so therefore he used ideas in the first list. This one, he chose one or two, I think two, among the four reasons. He is working on a four-paragraph structure. Therefore, he only needs two supporting ideas. Remember, if it is four-paragraph structure, meaning that the first is introduction, two are the body. So, meaning that there should be two reasons to main topic to supporting ideas, and then conclusion. Okay, let us see his work. I wanna give you time, perhaps 1 to 2 minutes to read, and then let us discuss together. Okay, you can also pause this video if you need more time to read. I will just discuss or to break down the structure of this essay into its part. The first one, let us read. It is argued that countries should allocate more funds to education than to leisure and competitive games. In this case, you can notice that the writer presents the topic. And the topic, if you still remember, is this one. You actually cannot just copy and paste entirely this sentence. You are not allowed to do that. Please don't do that. Do not copy and paste. Do not use exactly the same word as in the questions. Try to paraphrase. Also, you wanna introduce the topic in which it should be the same meaning with this question, but try to use different words, different sentence, meaning that you need to paraphrase or to use or perhaps to present in different style. So in this case, you see the word government, it has been changed into countries, and then spend, it has been changed into allocate, and then money into funds, education, still education, and then sport and recreation into leisure and competitive games. So just use different words. You have made such a different sentence, also have the same meanings, okay? And then after this, after presenting or introducing the topic, now you must state your position, whether you agree or disagree. And in this case, the writer agreed with the statement. So he said, it is agreed that national budgets should prioritize schools and universities over sports and play. So he agreed in this case. And he also paraphrased again the words education and recreation and sport into prioritize schools and universities, which is actually education, and then over sports and play, not recreation and sport, but sports and play. That's the trick to paraphrase the sentence. Okay, you wanna say exactly the same thing, but different words. And then after exclaiming your position, you can mention or highlight your reason in which you're gonna elaborate in detail in the body paragraph. So his reason that he chose among these four, he only write two. I will discuss the economic benefits that education can bring to a nation. That's the first reason. And secondly, the social benefits it has. So the social benefits if the government spend more money on education. Okay, and because there are two, and then two by the paragraph here. So that is what should be contained in introduction. The first is the first sentence, or perhaps one or two sentences as introducing the topic, and then your claim, your position, your statement, agree or disagree, and then highlight about your reasons, your points that you're gonna explain in detail in your essay, and that should contain your opinion, your arguments. You not only explain without showing your position, because this is an essay, and precisely this is agree or disagree essay. So it should present your opinion, and this essay should contain a strong reason that you agree with the topic. So let us see the first reason: economic benefit that education can bring. Investment in its education system, economic benefits has been changed into investment in its education system is one of the ways, the best ways to improve a country's economy in the long term. The more students entering third level education, the more skilled the workforce will, the more skilled a workforce will be, and this leads to higher innovation and productivity. I hope you understand with this explanation and its logic. For example, South Korea and Finland took the decision to invest a large proportion of their budget in education, and this has reaped the benefits in the form of high-tech companies because they have more skillful workforce. They like they invest more money, more government money to the education, and finally they got a skillful workforce, or in this case employee, and that is why now they can form high technology companies such as Samsung or Nokia. However, people cannot work hard all the time, and these companies do provide leisure facilities for their workers. So I think in this case, the writer also tried to be a little bit in between or neutral, but also mention that talking about education all the time is not good. People also need to have leisure times, like to provide them with leisure facilities. I mean, money need to also be invested for leisure facilities for the workers, so that the workers will be will work happily, will be normal, not stressful. You know what I mean? And then in the second body paragraph, the writer explained about social benefits. After talking about the economic benefits, he explains about the social benefits. Education is not just about improving the economy, it also has many social benefits. Well-educated people tend to be more aware of social evils such as drugs, alcohol, sexual health. For example, Singapore educates all of its citizens on the dangers of drugs, and this has resulted in one of the lowest level of drug abuse in the world. Despite this, sports can also teach children valuable soft skills such as teamwork and work ethics, which also help curb social ills. Okay. I think the writer explained in a simple way but complete, with only one, two, three, four sentences in one paragraph, but details because it introduces the topic, education for social benefits, and then explain what it means, and then give example. So remember, in your body paragraph, try to also put the example so that the reader will understand. All right, those are the body paragraph that explain each of these supporting ideas. And then the last one is the conclusion. You can use the word in conclusion or in brief or to sum up, to conclude, or something else. In conclusion, education should take precedence over sports when it comes to funding. due to the many socio-economic benefits it brings. It is recommended that government continue to pump money into schools and universities in order to realize long-term goals. Okay, in the conclusion, let us see. You can restate what you have written in the introduction, which is actually the topic. Allocate more funds to education can be changed into precedence, should take precedence over sports. Okay, and this is the reasons. It comes to funding due to the many socio-economics. The first is economic benefits, the second is social, and then he changed into socio-economic benefits. So different way in delivering the ideas, often the same meaning. And the recommendation. It is recommended that government continue to pump money into schools and universities in order to realize long-term goals. Okay, I think this example of essay has precisely or perfectly show you the example of a good agree-disagree essay that you can follow with only two sentences or four sentences, but the content is complete. Right, now you can try to practice writing agree-disagree essay. That I want to take a look on your essay and let us discuss about your essay later on next week. You can choose one topic from this. You can pause for a while to read carefully and then choose one topic that you're gonna write and then take a position whether you agree or disagree. Also, the question is what extent. It means that you can be in the middle, but because what we learn is still agree or disagree, please just take a position whether you agree or disagree. So we can ignore the word what extent here. But do you agree or disagree for all of the questions? Okay, I hope this explanation is understandable and you can write a better agree-disagree essay. I wanna see your essay next week. And if you still have questions, you can write your questions below in below this video, or perhaps you can also send me a direct message. Thank you so much. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.